Good afternoon. I mean, good morning, because this video is going up in the morning. I already messed up. Welcome back, guys. So this is gonna be a shorter video, I think, but I do want to give my thoughts on the new Retroid clamshell handheld that they're coming out with. We're gonna get into the design of it and everything I like and dislike about it so far, but I truly can't really judge it until I have it in my hands. But these are just my initial impressions. I would start by going over the official specs, but just by looking at the specs that Retroid has put up, they're the exact same as the 3 Plus. The 3 Plus is a powerful device, no doubt, but this thing is just a 3 Plus in a different shell, which is a little disappointing. I'll put the specs on screen for anyone who wants to take a closer look at them, but something I just want to say is the processor and GPU that this device is using is the same one that the Powkiddy X18S and the Ambernic RG505 use. The Ambernic RG505 wasn't that long ago. It's the same, it uses the same thing that was in the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, but the Powkiddy X18S was what, 2 years ago? And this is the same chip in it. Now there are obviously gonna be differences. I do kind of like the design of this thing. I don't want to get into a tangent, but look at this design. Like, I love this. The only thing here that I notice is different is that the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus used a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, while the Flip is using a 5,000 milliamp hour battery and supports fast charging. Everything else is the same: 4 gigabytes of RAM, the Mali G52, 128 gigabytes of storage, active cooling, which is actually new. That's nice. Same screen as the 3 Plus. It's literally the exact same screen. They say it's like 4.7 inches, 750 by 1334, which is the exact same as the 3 Plus. Bigger batteries are always nice, and I especially like it because for a device like this, I know it's kind of centered around 2D gaming, but I'm gonna be using it for more 3D gaming, so it's gonna be nice to have a bigger battery so that maybe the device will last longer. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I never had an issue with the 3 Plus's battery, but it's just nice to have more reassurance that it won't die when I'm using it. Since the internals are basically the same as the ones in the 3 Plus, I guess they're just trying to sell us on the design, which might actually work, but let's actually talk about it for a second. They put up this image showing off the design from different angles, and I really like it. I'm definitely biased because I grew up with like the DS and 3DS line of systems, and I keep gravitating back to the like clamshell type design for like the GPT XT Plus was the first portable emulator I got, so it's obvious that I love clamshell devices, but I do think that this looks really good, and getting another portable emulator that looks like them is really appealing to me. The last clamshell device that I got was the Powkiddy X18S, like I mentioned, and boy, it was not great. I've already made a video on it, and I don't really want to get into another tangent because I kind of already did in this video, and we're barely a minute, like 3 minutes in. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to chop this down, but I don't want to get into a tangent, but there was just so much about this that I did not like. I love the clamshell form factor though. If you ever used an X18S or even watched a video on it, you'd know why I don't like it. Ow. I just pinched myself. You'd know why I and so many others don't like it. So I'm glad Retroid seems to be making a clamshell device with good controls. Obviously we can't test them until we get them in our hands, but I hope it's good. I can't get over how much I love this design, but I'm kind of worried about those thumbsticks. They look very similar to 3DS thumbsticks. Let me get my 2DS down. They definitely look like 3DS thumbsticks in that they're kind of like through thumb sliders, like not really sticks, but I'm interested to see how they feel. They have impressed me with their design before. I didn't really expect to like the 3 Plus as much as I did. So, I mean, hopefully they can do it again. So let's go over what we see here. This looks like it'll be for 2D centric gaming like the 3 Plus was, but with the added space on the bottom, playing 3D games on here would probably be more comfortable. The D-pad kind of looks like the one that they used on the DS or DS Lite, which everyone loved, so that's good. We don't know anything about the buttons, like if they're clicky or if they're using rubber membranes. I hope they're clicky, but considering they switched to a rubber membrane for the 3 Plus and now they're not as clicky as they were on the 3, I wouldn't get my hopes up. When it comes to the thumbsticks, they say that they'll be clickable like other devices. They say on their Twitter that the Hall effect sliders will be clickable, L3, R3, which is really nice because I hated on a lot of devices. I mean, the GPT XT Plus is like old. It's like 5 years old. And that one I can kind of give an excuse to because those thumbsticks I don't think were clickable. But the X18S is something I don't give an excuse to. And even the GPT XT Plus had like buttons here that you could use to like substitute L3 and R3. This thing doesn't. There are no extra buttons, but it's good that these will be clickable because I just don't want to have to reach for another button. I mention it later, but they do have programmable buttons, so I'm glad that I don't have to use those for just clicking in the sticks. And it'll be interesting to see how they work, because like I've never seen a device with clickable sliders. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works, because usually, you know, like on a regular controller, you have the button and you click down and like the whole thing shifts. I don't know how that's gonna work on the Flip, but we'll see. The triggers also look nice. They look big and comfortable to use, which I really like. They are analog, as Retroid announced on their Twitter in this same post that I keep referencing, and they just look cool. I mean, I can't really deny that. They look kind of slick. I'm mostly referencing to the watermelon color when I'm referencing how cool this device looks, because that's what I plan on getting. But I do think this device looks cool. I do like it. It uses USB-C, which is always nice. I doubt we'll see anything new or different anytime soon in terms of charging, because none of these companies are going to make a proprietary way of charging. And also, USB-C is just great. Who's going to make a new thing? Like, how long is it going to take before we get something new? And even then, it's going to take a while for mass adoption. And it has a mini HDMI out port, which I guess means that there's going to be no HDMI out via the USB-C port, but I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, it has two reprogrammable buttons, but they're on the back, so I'm not sure how comfortable those are going to be to use. It's great that the thumbsticks are clickable though, because you're probably not going to need to reach for them unless you have like an extra setting or something. There's also active cooling, which I don't know how much it'll affect the gameplay, but once again, we'll just have to wait until I get it into my hands. I mean, I don't know if this will be good for like games that take more power or like cause more heat, so they can dissipate heat quicker, better, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. The screen is the exact same one from the 3 Plus, and it has a magnetic enclosure, so it won't flop open while it's in a bag or some other purse or something, which I think is great. Let's hope the hinge holds up for a long time, because my 3DS hinges are still going strong. So there are 5 color choices that you can choose from, which I'll put on screen now, but keep in mind that the Sports Red option is limited to 1,500 units, and if you get it, you're automatically entered into a giveaway. I'm kind of torn on what color I'm gonna get. I really want the watermelon, but I also kind of want the black because it looks slick, and that color just reminds me of the GPD XD Plus. But I also want the Sports Red, just because it's limited. Man, I am so susceptible to marketing. I don't know what I'm gonna choose. I can't buy more than one color. I'll probably go for the watermelon option, but man, that Sports Red looks nice. The pre-orders went up the night before this video goes live, so tonight as I'm recording this, and I'd safely say that I pre-ordered the watermelon version. I'm gonna pre-order the watermelon version. I just want the Sports Red because it's limited. The other colors, I'm not really nostalgic, so I don't have any nostalgia for the DS or like the 8-bit or retro kind of styled ones. I think the watermelon looks sick, but besides that, I don't really have any interest in the other ones. I mean, they look cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm going for watermelon. I mean, to each their own. They also put up some size comparisons of the Flip, the DS Lite, and the new 3DS XL, showing that the Flip is taller than both while being wider than the DS Lite, but thinner than the 3DS. It has all the normal buttons that any device will have, like the power button, the volume sliders, stuff like that, along with the 2 reprogrammable buttons that I mentioned earlier. And they put up this pricing chart that shows that the Sports Red and watermelon colors will be more expensive than the others, which is to be expected, but it doesn't deter me, because I still want that watermelon. It's only $5 more, so it isn't even that bad. Also, I guess as a little treat or whatever, they're doing a $10 discount for the first 3 days, and then a $5 discount for the following 3 days, which is great if you want to buy one within the first 6 days of launch. And it's also great because it makes the watermelon and Sports Red less than what the other colors are going to be after the sale. Once again, let's keep in mind that the Sports Red is a limited edition color variant, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people trying to get it. So if you want one, make sure to be at the website at the right time. I'm not getting it. Pre-orders open tonight at 9. I'm gonna be there, and shipping starts April 10th. So I'm gonna be there at 9 o'clock, trying to get on the website so I can pre-order it and get it in my hands as soon as possible, because they did not answer my email. Thanks, Retroid. Kidding, I don't have any bad luck. Shipping starts 3 weeks later on April 10th, which is a little disappointing, honestly, because I wanted to take this on a trip I'll be going on, but I can't, because I'll be going on the trip before April 10th. But I mean, honestly, to be fair, kind of have to give them props for even getting it out at all. I was about to bring up Ein again. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting you guys through that. As I communicated earlier in this video, I really like this design. Out of all the colors, I like watermelon the most, just because I think it looks cool. It's like transparent, it's like translucent. I think it looks really cool. That's not to say that the others look bad, but watermelon just strikes a weird chord within me. Like, I'm not a big fan of like translucent designs. Like the Ambernick RG35XX is okay. I mean, it's a translucent purple. It's okay. But I just really like this watermelon. I love the color red. I don't know what it is about the color red, but it just kind of like, I love it. You wouldn't know that by looking at my room, but I mean, I just really like the color red. So any like transparent red or any red that looks nice, I'm a big fan. Also, I really like the design of this thing, just as a whole. It looks really smooth and slick. I like it. I wish it wasn't just a reskin of the 3 Plus, but hey, knowing Retroid, there'll be a better device within 3 months of this announcement. Just kidding. Pretty sure they said on their Twitter they're not going to do that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I am really excited for this though. It looks cool, and I am a big fan of clamshell devices, so I don't know, this is a win for me. But what do you guys think? Are any of you going to pick this up, or are you annoyed that this isn't really an internal bump from the 3 Plus? Did you buy a 3 last year, not buy the 3 Plus, and now you want to upgrade? This could be your best bet. See you guys next week for something better. I'm really excited for this. I'm going to pre-order it tonight, and we'll talk about it when it shows up. So, let's see. I'll see you guys next week for something else. Bye-bye.